Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into a powerful story. It's about trauma, finding something totally unexpected, and, well, a pretty surprising journey towards healing. So, our goal here, our mission for this deep dive, is to look at how one person deals with the aftermath of something truly catastrophic. We'll explore his internal struggles, the battles inside his head,
Hmm.
and how finding this unfinished story from a stranger completely changes things for him. It sort of fuels his own path to finding some resolution.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is how the source material, these personal narrative bits we have, gives us such a raw look at how people react to trauma.
Mm.
It's not just the shock, right? That initial hit.
Right.
It's more the way it just seeps into everything, daily life, thoughts, relationships, even how you see yourself. We're going to see how it really transforms this guy Deb's whole world.
Okay, so let's start there with Deb. When we first meet him, it's been, 15 days since he witnessed this horrific bomb blast.
15 days, yeah.
And he's just tormented. Can't sleep, can't work, can't even go to the gym. His girlfriend, Avantika, she's worried naturally and suggests therapy. But Deb's reaction is pretty strong. No, I've not gone mad yet.
Why that immediate pushback? What's behind that kind of resistance, especially right after something like this?
That's such a key question. That reaction, it often comes from, societal pressure maybe, or just a really personal difficulty with feeling vulnerable.
Hmm.
For a lot of people, asking for help, especially therapy, feels like admitting weakness. It challenges their idea of themselves as strong, maybe stoic, like you said. And for someone like Dev, that's probably a huge barrier.
Yeah, you can see why Avantika is so worried, though. The text describes these just awful, intrusive images haunting him. He talks about seeing people who were looking at me with no hands or legs or whose stomachs had been blown apart, begging for help.
It's brutal. And there's one image in particular, a small kid who tried getting up thrice, but his legs had been blown off. He was crying, screaming, and then went silent. Deb is just consumed by guilt. He keeps wishing I could have saved them, at least one of them.
And that right there, that's classic survivor's guilt. It's this psychological weight that can be, honestly, heavier than any physical injury.
Right.
And what's interesting is how that guilt, when it's just stuck inside like that, can actually stop healing. Sometimes it needs an outlet, like a mission almost, to turn that helplessness into something active. So Avantika's comfort, it's not your fault, Deb, you're only human. It's kind, but
It doesn't get through.
exactly.
Yeah.
I often can't break through that deep self-blame. He feels like he needs to somehow earn having survived.
He's clearly desperate. He tries sex, sleeping pills, a Tushar Kapoor movie. His words, nothing has worked.
Nothing. Yeah.
And he's confused. He doesn't understand why it's taking so long. He asks himself, why should I care about unknown dead people and their families? I'd never thought I could be so weak.
And digging into that, you really see this intense internal fight, don't you? On one side, there's this massive emotional fallout, and on the other, there's how he thinks he should be reacting.
Right, the strong guy.
Exactly. He sees this lingering trauma, this inability to just get over it as like a failure of his macho-ness. He even says the blast was like the pink stuffed toy for me. I faltered. I am screwed for life. Even though he wasn't even right at the center of it, he's judging himself so harshly.
And it's weird. Instead of avoiding it, he feels this pull, almost compulsive, to revisit the memory. He wants to watch the news reports over and over, saying he feels a part of me there now.
Yeah.
He wants someone to blame, wants someone to claim responsibility, so he has a target for his anger.
Yes, that search for a target, somewhere to direct all that anger and confusion, it's actually a really common coping mechanism. Or even, like his friend Shri suggests, latching onto a conspiracy theory, maybe the government did it to distract from protests.
He only says maybe to that, though.
Right, he's hesitant. But the impulse is there. It's about trying to find some meaning, some structure, any kind of control in something that feels utterly chaotic and overwhelming.
And critically, alongside all this, he's having these recurring nightmares. But in the nightmares, he's the victim.
Oh.
He's bleeding, helpless, losing limbs, dying. And this thought just hammers away. It happened to someone else. It could have been me. Keep that phrase in mind because it becomes absolutely central later. So fast forward a day, 16 days total now. Deb drags himself back to work, puts on a brave face for Avantika, for Shrey. But that unease, it's bled into everyday life. His car was destroyed, so he takes an auto rickshaw, but he's thinking a little skeptical about the auto too. Who knows? Another bomb carrier.
And psychologically, that's such a clear sign of how trauma warps your sense of safety, isn't it? It creates this hypervigilance. Suddenly, even something mundane like taking an auto feels loaded with potential danger. The world isn't safe anymore.
So on the way to work, he makes this decision. He decides to visit the blast site. The scene is grim. Burnt cars, black charred ground, a huge crater. He's maybe hoping for some, I don't know, closure, relief. He even gives the auto driver extra money, trying to feel something good, but finds nothing. He just thinks money can't buy you happiness. And then this happens, this completely chance moment. He trips over a dustbin, a street cleaner helps him up, and then that same cleaner finds a diary.
Wow.
Just lying there. Tattered, the description says, back cover totally burnt and its edges have been consumed by fire. It's literally a piece of the wreckage. What do you make of a discovery like that? So improbable.
Well, it feels like more than just random chance, doesn't it? It's like a narrative intervention. Fate, maybe. It pulls Deb right back into the tragedy, but from a totally different angle.
Yeah.
It forces him to engage, gives him a new focus point, almost against his will.
He almost walks away, the text says, shakes his head. But something makes him turn back, claim it as his. He opens it, sees the initials RD and the year 2010 faded. And he immediately makes the connection. He thinks this is the diary of someone who must have gotten seriously hurt. Not many people survived. The diary is in bad shape. It doesn't look as though the person would have survived.
And right there, that discovery, it just connects straight back to that recurring thought he's been having, doesn't it?
It could have been me.
Exactly. Someone died that day, someone that could have been me, and I have his or her diary in my hands. It makes that abstract fear totally tangible. It's visceral now. This diary isn't just paper. It's proof of how close he came. It's the what if made real.
But finding it immediately throws up this huge ethical question for him, right? Should he read a dead person's private thoughts? He even remembers arguing with Avantika about her diary once, saying, there are certain privacy boundaries that even people in relationships shouldn't cross. So this isn't easy for him.
No, definitely not. That personal history, his own strong beliefs about privacy, it makes the decision really complex. You see him wrestling with it. But he finds a way to justify it, doesn't he?
He does. He puts himself in RD's shoes. If I were to write everything I feel and die, would I like my diary to be read? Yes, I would. I would like my last words to reach the people I love. He feels this huge responsibility. Like, he's probably the only person who will ever read this diary.
It's a powerful rationalization. It lets him do something he knows normally he wouldn't. He frames it as a duty, almost.
So, okay, with that justification, he starts reading. And these entries, they're quite something. June 15th, 2010, RD sees her, Regini, for the first time, writes, I felt the world come to a standstill. The birds stopped chirping. It was only her. It was only me. Pure infatuation.
Textbook young love, almost.
Totally. By June 28th, he's following her, watching other guys try to talk to her, wishing he could get her books for her. Then, July 2nd, he hasn't seen her for 2 days, plans to ask the stationery guy her name. Deb's reading this thinking, creepy, he doesn't have a life, stalking somebody this badly. But then, he catches himself. Admits he can relate, says he was a geek once. Feels sorry for RD, hopes he's okay. And then, July 17th, RD finds out her name, Regini, LSR College, 3rd year. Just moved from London. He starts calling her Happiness.
Wow, happiness. Like the warm morning sun. That's quite poetic.
It is. And looking bigger picture here, you see this universal thing, intense, maybe, a bit obsessive, young love. But what's really striking is Deb's reaction. He feels this connection.
He really does. He says, it's almost like I have written those words for Avantika. It is lovely and terrifying at the same time. He admires RD's love, calls it selfless, pure and untainted, not a speck of lust. He sees something rare in it. Deb isn't just reading. He's feeling it through RD.
And RD keeps going. August 25th, stands near her at the bus stop, follows her onto the bus, walks behind her to her apartment building, Seaview Apartments.
Thinking bolder.
Yeah. September 7th. Thinks she noticed him staring, feels jealous of her friends, sits next to her on the bus, describes her sweet voice, shining eyes, and makes a plan. Tomorrow, maybe she will chirp for me, only for me. And that seems to be near the end of the entries he reads initially. And this is where it gets really intense for Deb. After finishing what's readable in the diary, he's just wide awake. He's marked like a million different places.
Yeah, you see this incredible emotional transference happen, don't you? He actually says it.
Oh, right.
As I read the diary, it was as if I was the dead guy and Regini was Avantika. It seemed like my diary and my story.
Whoa.
He's completely merged his identity with RD's. He feels enraged that he, meaning RD, but also himself, didn't get to tell this girl he loved her, and now he's dead. He's experiencing RD's tragedy as if it were his own.
And the fact that the diary just stops, it infuriates him. He calls it like a novel with no end. or a movie without the climax scene, and it's just grossly unfair. It feels like my own story has come to an abrupt end. Why is that unfinished ending so deeply upsetting for him? It's someone else's story, technically.
That's such a powerful question. Because for Deb, at this point, it isn't just someone else's story anymore, is it? It's become a direct mirror of his own trauma, his own brush with death, that feeling of a life or a potential future cut short.
Ah, okay.
That basic human need we have for stories to have endings, for closure, it gets tangled up with his own need to process what happened to him. An unfinished story leaves that door open, leaves the what if hanging there, which is terrifying given what he's been through.
And bang, suddenly Deb has this incredibly strong new drive. He says, I just have to know who he is and I will do anything for that. This isn't just curiosity now.
No, not at all.
He calls it my only chance at redemption, the only chance of helping one of the many people who died that morning. It's become urgent, personal.
And that, I think, is the real turning point. Finding closure for someone else becomes his unexpected route to finding healing for himself. His goal crystallizes. It's my only chance to make those images in my head go away forever. I will not let this go. I will find an end to this diary. I have to.
It's a mission. It's absolutely a mission. This external quest, born out of his own trauma, now becomes this internal, almost self-prescribed therapy for his own survival. It gives him agency again.
And he doesn't wait. He immediately starts rereading the diary, focusing intensely, taking notes, determined to find clues. He's gone from being paralyzed to being incredibly active, purposeful. So quite a journey we've traced in this deep dive today. How this immense personal trauma, this survivor's guilt, leads Deb to this unexpected, really deep connection with a stranger's unfinished life. It's a fascinating psychological path, isn't it? From being stuck in that guilt, that need for control and the chaos, to finding this transformative power in taking on someone else's story. Seeking resolution for RD becomes the way Deb starts to resolve things for himself. His whole identity shifts, really from victim to investigator.
Yeah, that commitment he feels to finding an end for Artie, it's so powerful. It channels his suffering into something meaningful, a quest for some kind of justice, maybe, for this unknown person. So, what does this leave us thinking about? For you listening, Deb's journey is maybe a reminder that healing doesn't always come just from looking inward. Sometimes it's about reaching out, connecting with someone else's story, even an unfinished one, in a way that helps us rewrite our own. It makes you think, doesn't it, about where we might find unexpected purpose. Not just in the good times, but maybe even in the shared difficulties, the tragedies, whose unfinished story might be out there, waiting for a connection.